like I always laughed when I watched like Dragon Ball Z, because eventually like Vegeta just didn't have words to describe like the power levels of people. He'd be like, impossible. It's like exciting. Whatever is like more exciting than exciting. Hey everyone, how's it going? Noxiddar here, and welcome to our next reaction in the One Piece anime. I've upgraded my webcam from the almost ancient Logitech C920 that I've had, I believe, ever since I started my YouTube channel back in January of 2017, and I've upgraded to the Razer Kiyo Pro, and I'm really hoping that the 60 frames kicks in so that it doesn't look like I'm stuck in a weird foreign dub every time I speak, because the old one was running at 30 frames per second. So it would quite often be like this. So silly. Crazy. That being said, let's go ahead and get right into our reaction, picking up with episode 27. I'm really looking forward to see Sanji kick some more butt. It's been very enjoyable so far. So we're picking up with the battle axe. What did Luffy do? Same. Oh, wow. Oh, let's not do that. No, don't do it. No, don't. Listen to me. Ooh. Yeah, notice there's no more fire now. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. A bold plan, if I do say so myself. But it's interesting because we just had Sanji talking about how precious the ship and the restaurant was. I mean, it was it was quite literally the idea that gave Zeph hope and the will to sustain himself. You know, we kind of saw it there at the end when he told Sanji, and then we saw the ship coming to rescue them. But you have to think that this is obviously an idea that had been rattling around in his brain for a lot longer than just in that moment. So, you know, obviously I'm going to see what happens next, but it's interesting that Sanji's like, what are you talking about? This is Zeph's treasure. And then Zeph got a smile from what Luffy said about just if you destroy the boat, they'll no longer attack it. I have no idea what it means. Oh. True. Okay, maybe I'm starting to understand it. It's almost like, I don't think necessarily it's that Sanji has the wrong idea about the kindness, but that he's placed so much of the result of the kindness into the material idea of the Baratie. Zeph wasn't really looking for any sort of material value when he extolled that kindness, or, you know, he gave that kindness freely to Sanji in order to save his life because of their dream. This is very interesting because you have the blunt straightforwardness of Luffy, and you have the, I guess, inner turmoil of Sanji, and maybe where his misplaced understanding of that kindness is coming from. And this is like what is it? An immovable object meets an unstoppable force. So, cool. Dude, he gets it. Oh. Interesting. That's an interesting philosophy. It's not refined. Such a wild character. I thought he was supposed to be invulnerable. Oh, that's good. Wait, hold on. I want to go back to what Luffy said there. Look at this. See, it worked great. My plan to lure him out. Didn't I say that Luffy does like those crazy things? Like we just saw this with Don Krieg as well. Like in an effort to stop Luffy, like all this calamity was happening. And so this is where I will actually defer to the comments on this, because my idea and my understanding, where I spoke at length back in episode 20 and 21, was like I really feel like sometimes like the shenanigans that Luffy does is to create an outcome where it draws out people's characters. What's really interesting and cool about Luffy's character is that in his goofiness, Oda actually has a way to, and I mentioned this in a comment, he has kind of a way to like circumnavigate like heavy narrative exposition to explain people's motivations. This is really what I see as like one of the great superpowers of Luffy. Not necessarily indicative of Luffy as a character personality wise, but the utility of Luffy in the service of the story from like Oda and the storyteller's perspective. This is just something great that Luffy does. And so the way this is worded, it basically just felt like a aha naruhodo. I had my own little Luffy naruhodo moment. This is great. Yeah. I can respect this. It's like an honor among thieves kind of thing. His non-expression is cracking me up because everybody is immediately just like pissed off, and Luffy's just taking it all in, not even phased. So good. He's good at that. True. The truest true. Now, see, Don Krieg, you obviously weren't listening to me in the last several episodes. We're gonna hash that out. No, I'm just kidding. But I think this is also the most straightforward that Don Krieg has been since his introduction. You know, he kind of like wallows or not wallows, but he kind of like just navigates through situations with like a heavy subterfuge. I like how Gin is pretty much doing the honorable thing without betraying his loyalty to Don Krieg, even though, you know, maybe that was like a bit of a slight against Don Krieg. Hopefully he'll see it for what it is. Oh, this is gonna be awesome. I think this is the most fun I've seen Luffy have with this taunting outside of like Usopp. I thought Zoro was demon. To be fair, Gin's like still fresh right now, so interesting. Mad respect though, he hasn't lost a cigarette yet. Bro, what? That probably would have looked weird in the 4K kid. What's it called? Anyways, like, did he just spit a lollipop at them? That was freaking fantastic though. That was so cool. When he says skewered dumplings, is he referring to like his tonfas that he's using? That Gin is using? Yeah, I guess they kind of look like that, don't they? Oh! Oh, that was... It's the honor among thieves. I mentioned how Oda plays with opposites to arrive at the same place. We see like Zeph and Sanji's relationship, you know, it's deeply rooted in a respect for one another, but it displays itself, you know, from the outside looking in is like, Sanji and Zeph are like really disrespectful to each other. And that plays up the laugh of it, but like really deep down underneath, it is a relationship that was built off of kindness. Again, here we see that kind of transplanted with Gin, who was saved by a similar kindness, and that's created a connection to him and Sanji, leading to this fight, and now subsequently like not being able to follow through. Deep underneath, that connection was formed through kindness. So far, every story arc is kind of revolved around certain themes, and I was kind of watching this one, I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm picking up on this, but I think I'm starting to get it now, that particularly this Baratie arc is forming around kindness as one of its central themes. It's also just so different from a lot of stories, especially as an adult, that I've been getting, because I feel like a lot of conflicts are just resolved through might, through strength alone, and it doesn't leave a lot of room for the actual expression of humanity and the things that give us like reason to, you know, to aspire to come out on top in these contests. So like a contest of strength without humanity is just spectacle. And this kind of goes back to what I was talking about, where I find this so fulfilling to sit here and stop and talk and appreciate what I'm seeing, because I've just kind of been inundated with like a Hollywood and productions that rely on spectacle, and there's almost just an overwhelming lack of humanity in a lot of productions that are coming out these days, and especially with like streaming platforms where it seems like you're getting new TV shows with an overwhelming lack of humanity in them, one right after the other. It can sometimes just feel overwhelming. So it's so cool to actually sit down and watch something meaningful, not just to me on a personal level, but also just meaningful to me on a level of humanity. And it's so unexpected, and yet from all of the praise from a storyteller like Oda, I would expect nothing less. And this is just incredible. This is so cool. Yep. Yeah, he doesn't want to betray his loyalty, he just doesn't want to betray his friend. I'll beat him within an inch of his life, though, and we'll settle on that. Now he's gonna gas his own people? Holy cow. This guy is quite literally the epitome of what I was just talking about. Confrontations and conflicts within like Western media, and it's all about quite literally might makes right. It's like win at all costs, and there's like a lack of humanity. Oh my gosh, it's finally come full circle what I just stopped and talked about. That's crazy. It's all just embodied right here in Don Krieg. Yep. Oh my gosh. Anchor boy. How did he know? Luffy. Oh man, what a cliffhanger. Dude, that was cool. That kick that Sanji did and spitting out the cigarette and stuff, the action in this was so cool. But again, I love how it's not just mindless action. It's not just spectacle. Like, we actually get to humanity as well. And it's such just like a carefully constructed narrative. Now, I understand that a lot of people say later in the anime there's kind of like problems with pacing and things, you know, and that's just kind of the nature of the beast, especially when animes are made so close to the original publication date of the manga. Like, it's gonna happen. I feel like we went from it's exciting to like whatever word is beyond that. Right? Like, I always laughed when I watched like Dragon Ball Z, because eventually like Vegeta just didn't have words to describe like the power levels of people. He'd be like, impossible. It's like exciting. Whatever is like more exciting than exciting. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's do another episode. This was so much fun. I love the weight used in that, like, it wasn't even really silence, but the way it just kind of held on to that unnerving chord. Oh, you can really see the power of kindness right there, and how in that moment Gin had repaid it twice over, because he also saved Luffy as well. I was gonna say, he's not gonna die. I knew he was gonna say that. Wait, where's his hat? Oh, snap! There it is again. Like, just really drawing out that sound and letting the moment kind of breathe. I gotta say, I'm really thankful for this, like, Madden-esque breakdown of what's happening. Just like, so I can kind of remember, like, what certain things are called, certain things, you know, were kind of important. It actually really is good reinforcement for me as a reactor to kind of, like, take all that information in a second time around. So thank you guys. You're doing just great. You're doing a great job. Oh my gosh. Like I said, an unstoppable force. I feel like we're all there as well. We like this guy. Even if what he's doing is crazy and reckless and thoughtless and dumb. Ooh, close call. Ooh. He's got all that heavy armor on. Yeah. Well, if there's one thing that I've learned about Luffy, is that he is quite often very touching. So for Don Krieg to be touched twice, that is special. I think I had this weapon in Monster Hunter. One ton? Yo, is that guy like Usopp? Is he just exaggerating? To be fair, Don Krieg did like pick up a paddle boat with big cannons on it and throw it over his shoulder. I feel like his nose gets more exaggerated with every profile shot we see of Don Krieg. Blind determination. I like that. He is pure concentrated power of will, right, Mike Shinoda? I love this little... It's so good. Ah. Oh, he does commentary like I do. I lose my train of thought too. It certainly feels like the latter. It's so weird because he's calling him an idiot, but he's also like not expressing that he is an idiot, but he's doing something stupid, but it makes sense and he likes it. And I feel like this is the complicated relationship that me and this community have with my understanding of Luffy as well. Wow, this is great. That's so cool. Yeah, I like how we ended up with humanity versus like might and force, and how, you know, I mean, these are kind of the things that like even I gravitated toward with you know, like heroes like Goku, you know, in Dragon Ball. How, you know, enemies were constantly pointing out that those things that made them soft made them weak, but that's actually from where their greatest strength was gathered from. And so it's really cool seeing Zeph kind of like break it down so eloquently, and I like how it's almost like allegorical to me just trying to grapple with my understanding of these characters as well. Yeah, again, it's so cool. It's just evocative of like a wave going back and forth. The way that Oda uses explanations that make sense, right? Like it's all coming in like this, and then the opposite is also true, and it equally pushes it back. And so you have this like wave of opposites, and yet it's all part of the same ocean. It's so cool. I love the way that the story is told. It's so much more fulfilling to be able to watch this and appreciate it. And regardless of whether I'm getting my facts right or not, I just want you all to know that I hope what is coming through is just how much I am enjoying this story and really being told something like meaningful and like edifying, that I can walk away from this at really just at any point after having finished a round of recordings and just like feel fulfilled, like I had spent time meaningfully. And a lot of that has to do with just the incredible nature of this story and the form of storytelling, but also, you know, a lot of it has to do with surrounding the community and just how much heart and humanity there is in this community as well. It's something that I really appreciate, and I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you know that, and I hope that's our biggest takeaway from this. Kindness is our greatest strength, and kindness, as I have learned, can save lives. And that's equally as powerful. That's all the time we have for today. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great one. This is Noxiddar. Out.